Is too much being made of Belichick's decision to bench Butler for the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not. This is a game-deciding decision. I don't understand in how a 41-33 game, you can look at it and go, I don't know, should we call Butler their star defensive back? He's certainly one of their tops. I mean, Gilmore was not very good most of the season. He showed up at the end. So Butler's the guy that plays 98% of your snaps. You're telling me he couldn't have made a difference in that game? I absolutely wholeheartedly reject that. I listened to the three of you earlier, Max, Molly, Stephen A. I have a little bit of an issue with all of you. Okay. So let's start with you, Stephen A. First of all, I 100% agree Belichick has some explaining to do. Sure. He does not have any explaining to do to Malcolm Butler. If the player did anything on the field, in practice, most likely in disciplinary reasons. I'm not buying this. It's about his play in practice or anything like that. It's disciplinary. I don't care how many times Belichick tells us it's something different. Okay. It has to be. But Belichick doesn't need to explain that to the player. But you know who he does need to explain it to? Everyone else on the New England Patriots. Every other player that you compromised. See, when he punished Malcolm Butler, what he ended up doing is punishing all the other 52 players on that active roster. He compromised their ability to win the Super Bowl. That's who bared the brunt of that punishment, and he owes an explanation to them. And that brings me to Max and Molly. Can I envision a reason that Bill Belichick could have to bench Malcolm Butler? Maybe. I mean, like in theory, and Max, you know, I mean, it's no secret, you know, and I'm guilty of this from time to time as well. You like theory and abstractions and process and that kind of thing. In theory, I can imagine a scenario where Butler runs so far afoul that Belichick has to side on the process orientation. He has to go that way. But let me ask you this. This is the guy, as my friend Ron Russillo said, that had a serial killer on his team. This is a guy who's had people run afoul of every disciplinary issue you can imagine. Why all of a sudden in the Super Bowl is someone's curfew or even marijuana violation, if that's it, and everything is speculative at this point?
To be fair, he didn't know he was a serial killer at the time. But
he did, Molly, but let's not also paint the picture that Bill Belichick's running a house full of, you know, tea-sipping angels in New England.
Who shows up to practice on time every day and never skips anything.
I get it, choir boys. Keep going.
Yeah, they're not choir boys. They're there to win a football game. Yeah. And undoubtedly in this decision, he made a choice that compromised their ability to win a football game. It's just, we can talk about how buttoned down New England is, but this is actually not consistent. Not putting your best players on the field, that's not consistent with what Bill Belichick does.